Welcome back, everybody. It's take two for today. A couple of issues which forced me to come back. I was heading out to southern Eryri. Oh look, there's a big heath fire out there. That can't be agricultural because it's past the 31st of April, so that must be an incident. I was heading out for southern Eryri, and I got about 20 miles out, and then something in the back of my mind said, "Oi, you haven't got your drone, you muppet." Oh yeah, no, I haven't. But anyway, just before then, the helmet cam had packed in, shut itself down. When I got home, the reason for that was it was full of videos that I hadn't deleted. I've been quite busy with videos recently, and also doing lots and lots and lots of data backup. All the hard drives I have, which has got data stretching back 30 odd years, really needed a backup. So I've been very busy with that for the past 2 whole days. So things just slipped a bit. So that was okay. All in all, it was necessary to come back. I should have checked things, but it's been busy. My son's come back from university. He's got an job interview for as a warden, or a visitor centre warden for the national park. I hope that goes well for him. It'll be an interview in Welsh, of course. It's, at least some of the visitors will be Welsh. So this is take 2, as I say. We're going to head off into what are some pretty sunny, pretty warm mountains. There's a bit of a stiff wind. It's up to about 20-30 miles an hour. As you can see over there, actually, there's smoke making its way southwesterly along the Snowdonia range, Eryri range. And we're going to go to a little place called Cwm Ystrallin, which is not that well visited, thankfully, really. Although it is a Friday afternoon now, so there'll be more people going in. And there we are, back to where I realised I hadn't got my drone on take number 1. Yeah, but it's not too bad with the new roads and motorbike. It doesn't take long. It was only, well, it was an hour wasted in between everything. But I had a quick lunch as well before I came out on take 2, which was required, really. Yeah. So we were off onto our left this time last week, pretty much. My son and I went up Garnedd Goch, which is just behind the TV mast. You might be able to see it in a second. Yeah, just up there in the middle of the scene there. What a quick walk. It's quite fairly steep, but nothing to write home about. Lots and lots of bikes out today. Yeah. Out on those mountains there, very pretty, and we didn't see a single person all day, so that was quite nice. And I guess it's going to be pretty quiet where we're heading out today in Cwm Ystrallin. Certainly shouldn't be any problem with parking, certainly not for a motorbike. And a thick layer of heath fire smoke behind me. You might be able to see it in the mirror. I think that is a uncontrolled fire, as the heath fire season is over now. And of course it is very, very dry, the driest spring in Wales on record, I believe. The level of my local river is down to where it was at the end of July last year, so very early to be so low. That's just the Nebo TV mast. That site was destined once to be a receiver site for Marconi back in the 1910s, but there was a bit of a to-do about sporting rights, so Marconi told them to get lost effectively, and took his receiver down to Towin in just north of Aberystwyth. Lovely day. It's hovering around 16 to 17 degrees Celsius air temperature, and they're not doing 60 miles an hour, but there we go, that's up to them. There we go, so we're just in the final couple of minutes before we turn off this road. We're just on the sort of approaches to Porthmadog. We're a few miles out yet, but we're not going into Porthmadog. We're turning into this valley that's just coming into view directly ahead. Some very small roads, so should be taking it easy through there. Garndal Benman on my left there, that's got a pretty area to go for a walk at any time of year really. Also pretty quiet. Pennant there on my left, 3 miles up the road, also very beautiful area to go. And we've got a car that's far too close to behind us, so we've got a junction coming up, so he can do whatever he likes. Let's have a look. It's difficult to work out where this junction is actually. Very small, we may drift past it. Yeah, we're gonna come off. Yeah. Yes. I'm sure you'll get there seconds earlier. Anyway, here we go. Down here we've got a woolen mill if you're interested in that kind of thing. I don't think my wife's been here yet. It's very pretty. Pennant on my left hand side, can't see much now because of the trees. This is probably my favourite area, although I have many really. It depends on the season, the weather. It can be tricky to get up here, in fact it can be impossible to get up here when it's icy. The roads don't look that bad. So there are some hills, very short hills that ice up because they're small roads, of course, don't get any attention from the gritters. And yeah, it can be tricky. I did fail to get up here in a year last January, I think it was. Came face to face with a farmer. It's quite difficult to stop in time, but we did. So I'm not entirely au fait with this route. Oh, I've been up here before, but I may well sail past the next appropriate junction. And you'll see the bit of a dust devil there, see that? Yep, hello. He wasn't anticipating. Get a lot of farmers, and farmers can be a little bit intemperate, shall we say. I think this is the woolen mill here. It is open to the public, but you wouldn't be able to tell really, would you? Maybe they've given up on that now. But hey, look at this scenery. It's just nice to be out on a bike in this, isn't it? I do enjoy getting out later in the day. It's I had planned on being out early. I was up at 5 this morning, and the fairly full moon was hanging very low in the sky. It would have been nice to be out early and up the hills before the sun came up and the heat started to build, but the alternative is just to go a little bit later, miss out the middle of the day. It's 1:30 now, so it's not exactly missing much of the middle of the day, but at least it gets better from now on. Right, so Cwm Stratlin is just on our left. Moel Hebog, the mountain that you may be getting glimpses of on the left hand side. And we're going to go up Moel D, which is not so high. We're taking a reasonably low route. In fact, we're not going to go up to the summit probably. We'll see, I don't know. See how things work out. Ah, here we are, I know where we are now. We're going to turn left here. Can come in on the road that's ahead of us, but there's a terrible junction, completely concealed, high-speed traffic coming up from behind if you're turning in, and completely blind into the main road if you're coming out of it. So really dangerous. It's so dangerous they should close it really. But there we go. So, for the first time since January 2024, when this road was completely iced up, we're making our way to Cwm Stratlin. You're going to be pretty impressed by the Scottish designed slate mill. Well, I'm not sure if I've got video as such, but I've got some nice pictures of it, so I'll stick those in once we've gone past it. Yeah, very pretty. Doesn't look so good now at this time of year because it's the sun's a bit too high. The shadows are not very long now, as you can see. So we're only a couple of miles away from our destination, but it's a slow progress. Oh dear. Could do with a drink now, actually. Right, so we're up the hill. This is about as far as I got when it was icy. Down a gear. I'm sure a lot of you will be thinking, God, he's completely overcautious, but I can assure you I'm not. Sheep, dogs, farmers, tourists, general traffic. Any one of those, or all of them, could come around the corner at any moment, so and you know, I'm out to enjoy myself. I'm not out to pretend I'm doing some kind of racetrack circuit. I'm not of the age and I'm not of the inclination. Yeah, so we're heading out that hill directly in front of us. In fact, we're probably going to follow that wall that's pretty much in the middle of the scene, dry stone wall. There's quite a few sheepfold up here. For obvious reasons, it's a fairly sheltered valley, quite productive valley. A couple of farmsteads around. Yeah, this thing on the side here, this looks very much 1920s building. It kind of seems to be a sewage treatment plant of some sort. Could be a water treatment plant as well, of course. Entirely sure which. Probably water treatment plant because it's by the reservoir, isn't it, if I use my noodle? I should know, seeing as I used to be a microbiologist for Welsh Water back in the day. samples coming in from all sorts of places every day. At about I can't remember. I think we had over 100 samples to process in quintuplets. I think probably something like that. Yep, five analyses per sample. Took you all afternoon to do it. It starts till 1 o'clock. Get all the culture media and everything ready in the morning. All set out, ready to go. As soon as the samplers came in, there was about 3 samplers at the time, covering all of North Wales as far as sort of Dolgellau area, so huge area. And in the summer we'd be doing bathing waters as well, and sometimes we'd be doing project work, so we'd be going out with a caravan, camping on site. I didn't do camping on site, but I did do bathing water tests as well as drinking water tests, and there we go. That's your Scottish designed slate mill. It's quite a building. Well, it was a sterling effort. He could have done better, but there we go. Yeah, look at that. Put a shot from the drone in and get a better idea of what it looks like. A little house here, abandoned of course, could be providing somewhere to live. Look, right by the road, it's even got parking space that you could turn that sort of space into. But no, in the national park, as in Wales generally, we seem to prefer to keep everything in stasis, and even though people have got absolutely nowhere to live and can't afford to buy houses and are slowly being turned into rent slaves, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of abandoned houses like that. Yes, they need doing up. Yes, they're quite often in bad environments, need a severe amount of upgrading. But it can be done, and it could give jobs to people. I'm sure I've bleated on about this in the past. But there's a point at which doing nothing just simply can't be tolerated anymore. You can't have a society where people can't afford to buy their own house. Let's just clip a pigog there. Or paying all their wages into the hands of those who can afford to buy property. Often on a mortgage, so people with no money are paying for properties, second homes, with mortgages. Is absolutely disgraceful. Total failure of government that's common across the Western world. Politicians just shake their heads in shame. They make absolutely no effort at all. There's plenty of prefabricated solutions that could be rolled out at a click of a finger, and they just do nothing. It's infuriating. I'm lucky I have a house, I don't have a mortgage. We worked hard and saved hard and made many sacrifices so that we could achieve that. When interest rates were low, we paid about 3 times more than we were obliged to so that we could pay it off early. But that doesn't mean I'm complacent. It doesn't mean I just say, well, I'm okay, Jack. The youngsters can sort their own problems out. Well, they can certainly help, but it's up to all of us to say enough is enough of all this property madness. Nobody wins. But anyway, enough of the bleating. We're pretty much at where we need to be. And we'll set off on our walk. It's much lower than I remember. I had it in my head that this hill was quite a tall thing. It's not insignificant, but it's just a bit of a walk, really. Yeah, the other kind of bike's out. Always nod of the bikes as well as motorbikes. There's absolutely nobody. There's some tea rooms here, by the way, if you're coming up here. There you go. Nice place indeed, very civilised. Look out for some holes in this road. A spectacular hole. Somewhere, I seem to have filled it in by now. Deepest one I've ever seen. I think it was about here. There we go. All sorted now. No, you can't paddleboard. No, you can't fish without a licence, obviously, and permission from the Angling Association. You can't swim, you can't do anything, as is the usual state of affairs for reservoirs. Yeah, so take it easy there. It is private land, but you can park here. You can have a bit of a sit down and all the rest of it. So yeah, welcome to Cwm Stradlin. In Cwm Stradlin, Bwthelian District Angling Association. There's a bike basking in the sunshine. So we're going to go. Ooh, wow. Well, that is something. I'm very surprised to see that so low already. Now, I was just reading in New Scientist how low the reservoirs are in England. It's pretty bad here already. Look at that blue. It's amazing. So we're going to go along the dam. I have to get my map out just to make it more efficient. The Iron Age, or possibly Bronze Age actually, roundhouse I discovered was up there. Sheep, you can just about see them possibly halfway up the hill. Really obvious place. You could see it on the satellite imagery, but nobody had recorded it formally or even noticed it as far as I can tell. That water looks very inviting, even if the wind's making a bit of a hash of the noise of the audio. While I'm at it, and while I can get out of the wind a little bit, the village, which has been abandoned, is along there just above the trees. Really obvious from the air. I'll put some drone footage in. Interesting place to visit. Very, very wet, of course, as you can imagine, being at the foot of that Moel Hebog. But yeah, cuckoos are still going mad. Yeah, that's the intake from the reservoir. As you can see, it's you can't see the measurement probably from here. It's gone down a metre effectively. In fact, 1.2 metres from it, from the lip there, the ordinary winter height. So yeah, we can go and have a look, can we? We can. Sorry about the wind noise. Very clear. Yeah, that's a view you don't get very often. Hold on to the camera over the nice. Big concrete tunnel. Alright, so we're starting the other little sheepfold, 2-cell. Nice one. Unusually for walks in the mountains, we've got a good trackway going pretty much all the way up, which is kind of useful and lessens the amount of map reading. Pretty warm though. We're just clearing the hill here. See the Rhinogydd. Took it of bike and hike a couple of weeks ago, all the way along there. It's all sandstone, very particular landscape. And then we've got where the prisoner was filmed down the bottom there. You can't see it on this side. Port Meirion, Shell Island again over there, Mochras. And I'm kind of looking down towards Aberystwyth in the distance, Barmouth that way. So yeah. Yep, well, it's pretty steep here, as you can tell by the fence. Yeah, and even here, by the looks of it, somebody's been making a bloody fire. Damn tourists, they'll burn anything they can find. It's really annoying. It's not your stuff to burn, so don't do it. Yeah, anyway, we're coming down pretty quick thanks to this. Ooh. Great views. Well, this is a nice discovery. We've just come across an outcrop of probably sandstone, which seems to be fossilized mud. I'm not sure, it may not be actually. You see what I mean? Yeah, this bit here, this bit's quite convincing. Let's see how this bends inwards, which is kind of characteristic of waves. If you look at a beach, a shallow beach with the tides out, you'll see that. So, having come across the barracks, I'll say goodbye to the slate quarry. But before we do, we've got the amazing arched wall. Now the story goes that this was meant to form a complete arch over the rail trackway, or the tracked way that we're walking along here now, as protection from slipping waste from above. There's a very large amount of it. It's just tipped. You can see the tipping points, in fact 1, 2 and 3 along the top there. And in the Nantla Valley, which is just over the mountain really, there is indeed a tunnel which is now completely buried under slate waste for a similar trackway. But the story is that they never finished this. I'm not quite sure if that's true. I'm not sure if they ever were going to build an arch here because, well, there's no obvious. Well, they would have had to build it down here to complete it. I suspect it was intended to be like this. It's just a bit of a shelter, and if something did slip, it was kind of slip over and out onto here. But yeah, you can see the profile of it. It's quite remarkable, really. There's no real attempt to make a proper arch, I'd say. Open-minded, but I tend to think not. And along here there are loads of people's names. 73, there's a much older ones than that. The sun's straight onto them at the moment, so they're difficult to see. There's a particular concentration of them somewhere at the beginning here. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. 2016, 1964, 92, 91, 33, 1933, another 33, Enid Idwell, 2000, 1899. Yeah, that looks genuine. You can kind of tell by the care that people took with writing. Right, so there we are. That was Cwm Ystrallin. Not a particularly long trek, but yeah, not a very fast one. It was a bit slow in between getting the drone out multiple times, and then of course I dropped my mobile phone on the path and didn't realise until a quarter of a mile down the road, so luckily I decided to take a picture with a drone and then suddenly realised, oh, where's my phone? Anyway, that delayed me by a quarter of an hour or so, but that's alright because there's no rush as usual. So I won't do too much videoing on the way home because it's getting towards a low sun and it'll get on your nerves no doubt in the middle of the picture. So with these wonderful views falling behind us, I'll say thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of this area, and if you're visiting, of course the standard statement applies: please treat with respect. Camping isn't allowed without the landowner's permission, and don't start fires or anything like this. Just go for a nice quiet walk and then go home. And be one of the good guys. And gals, obviously. So, take it easy. Like and subscribe if you could, please. And we'll see where the weather and the bike carries us next time. Ride safe. And you don't get the thumbs up this time because there's quite a lot of gravel on the road. And I might come across a farmer.